I'm Chuck Beeman, Chief Executive Officer of Palmetto Health, and I can tell you this is an exciting day for Heath Sciences South Carolina, and this is an exciting day for the state of South Carolina. Palmetto Health has been a supporting member of Heath Sciences since its early founding, and we're proud to be part of an organization with such high ambitions, both for implementing far-reaching change in the health of South Carolinians and for growing South Carolina's healthcare economy. We certainly are excited to celebrate today's news with Heath Sciences South Carolina. I am very pleased to introduce Mr. Neil Williams, Jr., who is the chairman of the board of the Duke Endowment. The Duke Endowment has been helping people and strengthening communities for more than 8 decades by supporting a variety of projects in the fields of higher education, health care, child care, and rural church outreach. Heath Sciences is very proud to be associated with this distinguished organization, and we are most appreciative of the support that has been provided to Heath Sciences through the years by the Duke Endowment. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Neil Williams. Mr. Williams.
Let me begin by recognizing some of my Duke Endowment colleagues who are here. First, Mary Piepenbring, who is right there, who heads the healthcare division of the Duke Endowment, knows far more about what I'm about to talk about than I do. And it is very important that she stay close to me so that when I start making mistakes, she can pull on her ear or do something like that. I also have, I'm delighted to say, several of my colleagues, trustees of the Duke Endowment, who are here this morning. Dr. K.D. Weeks from Charlotte, who chairs the healthcare committee for the Duke Endowment. Bill Barnett from Spartanburg, who, if he needs to be introduced in this group, it'll be the first group I've ever been to where he needed to be introduced. And Mina Shaw, who is from Greenville, who carries the same distinction. She's, I'm sure, known to everybody in this room. All of us are here to celebrate what we think is a true good news story. And it's fun to be part of a good news story at a time when, if you turn on the radio, you tend to hear news that's not so good. And when you start hearing news about healthcare, you hear about things that are not so good either, both in terms of cost, in terms of portions of healthcare communities that do not communicate, and the like. South Carolina has the remarkable story to tell in this regard, and that's one of the reasons the Duke Endowment is here this morning. In 1924, James B. Duke created the indenture that has resulted in the Duke Endowment. He focused on 2 states, North and South Carolina, and as you heard from Chuck, he focused on 4 areas of activity, including healthcare. Healthcare as he knew it in 1924 and healthcare as we have it today, of course, are quite different. But one of the things that I think, without any question, Mr. Duke, were he alive today, would want to encourage is better cooperation, better coordination, a more intelligent availability of service in the healthcare field than perhaps exists in many places in this country. In our support of healthcare in North and South Carolina, we have tried to target successful organizations. We've tried to target programs where we think there are lasting improvements underway, particularly improvements in collaborative undertakings among various participants in the healthcare field. Heath Sciences South Carolina began, as many of you know, in 2004. It includes the state's major academic institutions and major healthcare systems. And very importantly, it establishes a common goal of improving healthcare for every citizen of South Carolina. You would think that would be an easy thing to achieve. you would think that institutions would want to come together in this sort of common pursuit. But I believe it is a fact that nowhere else in the country has this been achieved as effectively as it has through the work of Health Sciences South Carolina. 5 years ago, the Duke Endowment, being very impressed with the program as it was being outlined, made what at the time was the largest grant we've made in the healthcare field. It was a $21 million grant to Health Sciences South Carolina 5 years ago. Let me tell you, when we look back on grants that we have made that we really feel have been a marvelous investment, there's none that we come to more quickly and think more positively of than that $21 million grant. From the beginning, we've been impressed with what Health Sciences' vision and commitment has been, the magnitude of what they've been about. And the grant we made in 2006, you might regard as an investment. Well, it was a terrific investment. And we are here this morning to tell you that we want to make another one. And that is another part of the good news story about this organization. We're announcing today a grant of a little more than $11 million, a new grant. With what has been accomplished, we do that because we know there is still a lot to do. This new award, $11.25 million to be specific if you want to get to a decimal point, will support the South Carolina Center for Healthcare Quality, and it will build on the programs and infrastructure that has already been established. Through this new investment, we believe South Carolina has a chance to bolster what we know is a leading edge program today. And so it's an exciting time for us. It is a true good news morning for us. Don't let the rain outside give you the wrong impression. We're excited about being here, and we're excited about what the future holds. It is my great pleasure now to invite Jay Moskowitz, who has done a marvelous job in leading this program, to come to the podium.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is a great day for South Carolina, and my sincere welcome and greetings to all our friends and colleagues, including the board and the chairman of the board, Neil Williams from the Duke Endowment, Mina Shaw, K.D. Weeks, the staff, Mary Piepenbring, the team of Health Sciences South Carolina. Everything that Chairman Williams mentioned could not have happened without the team. And we really appreciate that the board is represented here by Chuck Beeman, and our staff is around the room. And we're very pleased to have the Honorable Representative David Triple and his wife, and the Honorable Representative Carl Anderson. We thank you, and we thank Secretary Bobby Hitt for being here. As was stated, this is a very unique institution. Health Sciences South Carolina, as was mentioned, was established more than 7 years ago as a result of the state's initiation of the innovative Smart Start program, and through the vision of our hospital, our university, and our community leaders. Its mission is to improve and safeguard the health of South Carolinians by harnessing the power of biomedical research. We look forward to continuing our pursuit of new knowledge and the validation and dissemination of that knowledge with vigor, dedication, and integrity, with an end result of being a major contributor to improving South Carolina's healthcare and population health. I thank you very much.
Good morning. Awfully glad to be here on behalf of Governor Haley and our Commerce team. Chairman Williams, I want to thank you very much for this gift to the folks in South Carolina, and through Jay Moskowitz's organization. I want to thank my dear friends from the upstate, Mina Shaw, and Bill Barnett, two of the great representatives of the upstate who I had the pleasure to get to know and work with over the last several years. This is great news for South Carolina and our economy, and I'm happy to join with Jay here today. Jay is one of the early endowed chairs that was created by the Center on Economic Excellence, Centers of Economic Excellence. We never did get that name right. That's why we changed it to Smart State, by the way. I've been involved with that program, was on that board, know Jay well, and what has been really remarkable is one of the strengths of our state is the compactness of it, the smallness of it, the fact that we know each other, and what Jay has been able to do is to knit together a variety of people in the state in health services to focus on an outcome that's very, very important to us in South Carolina. One of the reasons in South Carolina we lead in categories we would prefer not to lead in is the inability for us to deliver health care services into parts of the state where they're most needed. And this outreach and this collaboration by Heath Sciences South Carolina is making a difference in this area, and obviously that's been recognized by the Duke Endowment, and we're mighty glad for that. So we're making a difference in South Carolina because of this, and amongst many activities and initiatives, HSSC has been a strong supporter of the Smart State program, as I mentioned, which recruits well-renowned scientists and engineers to the state to lead research and development of intellectual property. South Carolina is a laboratory. It's a place that we can bring people to help us solve our problems and at the same time leverage what we have here for better for South Carolina and for health services nationwide. The creation of this intellectual property in cutting-edge healthcare fields can lead to lucrative technology licensing and the creation of new companies in South Carolina. It's very, very important to all of us here in the state. HSSC's new strategic direction, with its focus on both knowledge discovery and the dissemination of better healthcare practices throughout this state, will continue to bolster South Carolina's economy. And the reason is by improving the wellness of South Carolinians, we also improve their productivity and the quality of the outputs of the companies that they work for. We also make South Carolina more attractive to clinical trials, including commercial trials that bring research dollars and income into our state. And further, by making South Carolina's hospitals and universities more competitive when they seek federal and other grant funding from institutions such as the National Institutes of Health. The Duke Endowment's support, both past and present, is allowing HSSC to have a bigger and broader impact on our state's health and to grow our state's healthcare economy to an extent that would not have been otherwise possible. I want to thank Jay again, as well as Chairman Williams, and what a great day it is in South Carolina. Thank you very much.